Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Oh my god, the giggle always makes an appearance. Anyways, guys, what is up? How are you guys doing this absolutely amazing day? It's currently not the day, it's nighttime, it's 8 p.m. and I honestly just had a spout of energy. I think it's because I took pre-workout earlier and I worked out. So obviously when I do pre-workout and I work out, I'm really feeling the fantasy when I do all that, and I'm like, I have energy. Yes, energy. So today's video, I wanted to do a full face video. I was inspired by Raw Beauty Christy here on YouTube. If you do not follow or sub or anything like that to Christy, please do. She's one of my favorite channels here on YouTube. She's one of the coolest chicks I've ever met in my whole entire fucking life and in career in beauty. She's just so down to earth and badass, and honestly I cannot say enough great things about her, and I swear to god next time she's in LA I'm gonna fucking film with her ass. Christy, if you see this but I honestly think she's absolutely amazing. So her video she did was basically comparing how she did her makeup a couple years back and to how she does it now, and seeing a half a face with the makeup that she did back in the day and half a face of makeup how she does right now, what her current routine is. And I thought that would be so much fun because my routine is extremely different nowadays. I mean, not like crazy, like oh my word, but there's definitely some things where I'm like, I did that? No, I feel like as the years go by, your makeup changes, your routines change, and that definitely happened for me because I do my makeup now a lot different than how I did it 5 years ago. So that's what today's video is going to be. I'm gonna be doing a comparison. The left side is gonna be my old side, and the right side is gonna be my current side. And of course, I'll leave Christy's video down below so you guys can check it out because it is fucking awesome. I watched the whole thing. It's like 35 minutes, and I was like, what are you doing? But anyways, that's what today's video is going to be, you guys. I am so excited to film this. As always, if you guys don't like this video, if you guys do not like me, please don't fucking watch it. You know the drill with that. You do not need to click this. But as always, you guys, if you guys don't like this video, if you guys do not like me, please don't fucking watch it. You know the drill with that. If you don't like me, do not subject yourself to watch me. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but I could be yours. But if you guys do like this video, please go and give it a thumbs up and comment down below where you're from. I love talking to you guys in the comments down below, especially in the beginning when I upload a video. I love to just like go in there and just chat with you guys, especially like my early fam. If you're watching this early, what the fuck is up, dude? It's your fingers. But yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. I feel like this video is going to be a long one because I am doing both sides of my face and it's going to be kind of different on both sides. So let's just get right into it. We're gonna start off with the left side. So I'm gonna go and use something that I did from the past, things that I did more back then. But honestly, with this step, it hasn't changed that much, not that drastically. I'm gonna go and be taking a very smoothing primer, something like this. I always used to use Professional or something like that. I was very, oh, I haven't used this in so long. It literally just came out like water. Ew. Sick. Honestly, I really just enjoyed using smoothing primers back in the day because I have big pores. I still do. I'm a man. I have large pores and I like to fill in those pores and, you know, make my skin look as smooth as possible because honestly, who doesn't want smooth, clear, radiant skin? So I'm gonna put that on this side right here over my beard because I used to put foundation over my beard back in the day, so I have to do that too. Fuck. And then on my right side, what I do now currently, I use the Tatcha Silk Canvas. It is also a smoothing primer, but I just honestly think this is so much better for my skin. It doesn't make me break out. It still fills in my pores and it doesn't make them look as intense, but I honestly feel like it moisturizes my skin as well. I think it's absolutely amazing, and I honestly will just use this even when I'm wearing no makeup. I just think it makes my skin look so pretty. Look, you can tell this one looks a lot more matte. This one looks a lot more like dewy-ish. Not dewy, just a little bit more lifelike with this primer. I don't have that foundation I used to wear back then. It was like a Marc Jacobs cream foundation, but I do have a cream foundation. I'm gonna be taking the Hourglass Vanish stick. I used to wear cream products all the time back in the day, like heavier cream products. I loved full coverage even back then. I still love it now. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Hourglass Vanish stick. I love this foundation so much. Oh, I went over my beard back in the day too. Damn it. And I always used a brush. I used the Real Techniques like buffing brush like this. I don't have it anymore. literally don't know where it is. So I'm just gonna go and take this Morphe brush. This is a M439. I never really knew anything about like the Beauty Blender or anything like that. I just used brushes only, and I would always use buffing brushes, never sponges, and never like those foundation brushes that have that like flat paddle applicator. I would literally just like avoid those like the plague. So as you can see, that side is sickening. And so on the right side, what I do now is I like to like multi-use my foundations, and so I'll go in with like areas like right here that I feel like I need a little bit more coverage, like in my cheek area, right here on the forehead where I break out a little bit more, and then I'll go in and I'll mix my foundations up nowadays. I don't just use one foundation ever. I know it might seem a bit excessive, but it does work for me and my skin type really nicely, and that's what I like. So what I like to do is I like to mix a matte foundation. So I'm gonna take a pump and a half of Fenty. And I like to take a more radiant dewy foundation. I'm gonna take the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear. Pump in half of that one, and I'll take a beauty sponge, and I like to use this beauty sponge nowadays. I still use a brush here and there. I don't know, man. I just love the way a sponge looks. And I also don't put any foundation on my beard nowadays because I don't see a point in it. It literally just looks really cakey and heavy when I put it over my beard. The reason I like to use a sponge nowadays is because I just feel like the coverage still stays full. I'm able to just kind of manipulate the foundation a little bit better. And sometimes I don't want it to be as full in certain areas, and I do want it to be full in certain other areas. So I really will just kind of manipulate the foundation itself. So this side, as you can see, very full coverage, very intense. This one's also full coverage, but I feel like I can just see a little bit more of my skin peeking through with the sponge because it kind of dilutes the product a little bit. Still full coverage, but this side I just feel like looks a little bit heavier, and I always felt like when I used a brush, my foundation looked heavier. Also, the color's off because, you know, it is. And now for concealer, what do we do with concealer? I like to go in on my left side. I would always go in with the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. I cannot even believe I still have this. I used to be obsessed. I mean, I would take it on a little brush, and I'm using in the shade NW20. I'll put it right up underneath my eye, and I would take it down right out here, and I would pull it out so far because I wanted to have this really elongated, intense lower V and pulled out to Jesus. Like, I really would just yank her out. My God. My skin was being like, that's what I thought I was doing with this, and I would put it underneath here as well. And so I'll just blend that in, and I'll just kind of tap with my finger around it. Ooh, touching my skin with my fingers. I haven't done that in a long time. This concealer though is beautiful. But that's that side. And what I would also do is I would take a big brush and I would set my under eye with a pinky under eye powder. So this one, for example, is the Kat Von D highlight palette, and I would always use this pink shade, and I would just set my under eye concealer with a powder, and I would just put a little bit underneath there just so it didn't crease, and I was like, call it a day, great. And to set my face, I would literally just get a little bit of translucent powder and a large fluffy brush, and I would just go like this and just press it everywhere. Never baked, never, you know, used it with a beauty sponge. I would always take it on a brush and think, oh my God, like, look how sickening I am. When I did that, I thought it always looked pretty, you know, I thought it didn't look heavy. But the thing is, it would come off throughout the day for me because I am oily. And if I didn't like bake certain areas of my face, it would come off. And now I feel like if I don't bake it, then it like looks a little rough. So that was basically this side for the like base area. So I'm gonna go in with my right side. This is what I do currently now, and what I usually like to do now, I go in with Tarte Shape Tape, and I'll put it the majority right where the blueness is. I like to really just concentrate it towards the center of my nose to make my nose look a little skinnier. I used to never do this. I used to literally never do this, and I just kind of feather out the rest of it. I didn't take it as low. I'll put a little bit here on my smile line because I just discovered that concealer creases a little bit less than foundation does. So I just feel like when you put concealer there, it doesn't crease as fast. I'll put a little bit on the forehead, and I wouldn't take it out like I used to. And now what I like to do is I'll go in with a sponge and I'll just kind of blend that. It's so funny because watching Christy's video, I feel like me and her routines are literally switched. Like, her routine now is my routine back in the day. And with my concealer, I still like to go a shade or two lighter. I just enjoy that look for me. That's something I've always done. I've always liked to have an under eye that's pretty bright, and that never has really changed. And I always felt like with concealer, pulling that out would give me that look. And I like to put the concealer over my mustache area as well. I just feel like it would last a little bit longer and it would cover up more than that side did. But I never did that back in the day. I didn't think about it. Nowadays, what I do is I take my loose powder and I like to go ahead and bake underneath my eyes and on the sides of my nose, because I do like my nose right in this area to look a little bit more brighter because I feel like it pinches in my nose a little bit more. And I like to actually apply powder with a sponge now because I just feel like it takes away some of that powdery appearance. So what I'll do is I'll take some translucent powder and I'll take the sponge right here, just dust a little bit off on my hand, and I'll press it in everywhere all over my face, not just with a brush because I just feel like it doesn't really solidify it. And what I'll do is I'll leave the cheekbone area a little bit clear just because I like my highlight to pop a little bit more and really just ensure that the foundation is locked and loaded, honey. So that's the difference right there. We have this side so far. I mean, it looks really pretty. And then we have this side right here. Honestly, just feel like this side looks a little bit more greasy, looks a little bit more cakey. It's creasing faster on my smile lines right there because I'm not like baking the smile line as much as I am on this side. So let's go in with the left side. So the left side, you guys, I wouldn't put blush on back in the day. I never wore blush. I literally would just not really bronze. I would contour and highlight. And my contour used to be so harsh and so intense and so vicious. So I would end up taking a little tapered brush like this that was like really good for like a pocket area. So I would take a cool toned color mix it with a little bit of a warm tone color. And I would start to go in and carve out a cheek, and I would kind of blend it upwards. See, you'd think that you're like, okay, you're done. No, I would keep it going. I really thought I was Kim fucking Kardashian and really, really concentrate that color on my cheek to really look like I was carving her in, honey. Also, of course, take that same contour and I would contour my temples, keeping this area still clear because I like the pull back look. Oh, and then I would take like a large fluffy brush and I would take a dark foundation powder and I would swirl it in there like this, like for example, a MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. And I would put that over this to blend it out. So that's literally what I did. So now on the other side, what I like to do with my bronzer nowadays, I take a large fluffy brush. Honestly, I don't really contour that much anymore. I really don't. But I really like to go into with bronzers nowadays and just kind of warm up the skin with bronzer and just bronze up with a warm color and not go so heavy with it, you know. And I'm taking the Marc Jacobs Tantastic, my favorite bronzer of all time, and I'll kind of go over the temples just to give me a natural bronzy flush. Now I like to just connect it and just bronze lightly, dude. And this is what I like to keep it as. This is definitely a look on this side, but I personally just enjoy the more natural way this looks. And sometimes if I'm going out or if I'm gonna be photographed or something like that, I'll take a little bit of a dark contour color, like that cool tone, and I'll put it just towards the back of my ears by this area, just to kind of make it look a little bit more concentrated. Like I have this like amazing zygomatic bone that just goes up to fucking Jesus. Like that's literally what I would like to do. And now let's go in with blush. I love blush. I use so much blush. Are you kidding? Nowadays, I didn't put any blush on before. Why? I don't know, but I would take, now I just take blush, just like a pinky rosy blush, or I like to go in with like a, you know, tangerine color as well. And I'll put the blush on my skin and I'll just like to, I like to kind of marry it with the bronzer now. And I'll just kind of like make the whole thing look a little bit more flush. I just feel like it gives me a really just natural, pretty, sweet look. And while I'm doing this, it's also kind of taking away the baking that I did earlier, which is great for me. And I'll put it on my forehead nowadays. And I'll just use that blush and I'll put it everywhere. I really freaking will. I just feel like it looks more dainty. So let's go in with some highlighter. Back in the day, I used to wear Opal from BECCA all the time. That was my go-to. I wore Opal like so much. So back then, I would still use like a more dense brush to apply highlighter just because I liked that look. Back in the day, I didn't like a really strong highlight, so I would just lightly put it on my cheeks. That's what I used to do. That was me. That was old me. She's dead and gone. So now what I like to do is I'll go in with a same brush, something similar. And I like to really go in with a highlight and just concentrate it right at the top of the cheekbone. I just go a little bit more heavy. I just enjoy a heavier highlight. It's just my personal preference. I'm taking the Greek Goddess highlight palette. And does this emphasize your texture a little bit more? Honestly, it does. Like usually when you go in with a heavier highlight, it will emphasize your texture more. But as I've gotten older, I've come to terms with my texture. I mean, I do the best that I can with skincare, hello. But as a dude, I will always just have more intense skin texture. So what I like to do is I like to kind of hit it on the tops of the forehead, top of the cheekbones, on the chin, a little bit right there on the cupid's bow as well nowadays. Didn't really do that before. So this is my current side. This is just like what I like to do now. This is my older side, which is what I like to do before. I just feel like it looks a lot more muddy and a little bit more intense. I don't live. But that's that on the base. I just enjoy the one I do now. I just feel like it makes me look a little bit more youthful, a little bit younger. Let me know down below too what you guys think. But we're gonna move on to the brows because that is also a very large change in my routine. And my brows before were rough. They were just too much. Like they were honestly so extra and ridiculous. I was like, what am I doing? But I really just thought that was the thing at the time. So that's why I did what I did. So my little gay ass would take Miss Ebony brow pomade from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Low-key, what was I thinking? So we're gonna go ahead and take my brow product and I would start at the beginning of my brow to build my base, and I would go in heavy-handed and I would build a completely new brow with a dark brow pomade. And I would build out my own very sharp arch. And of course it was above the arch I should have had, you know, of course. And then I would continue that all the way to the front of my brow. And so I'd make it look very intense. But I would carve them out. I wouldn't just leave as is. Oh my God, can you guys imagine? I would take Miss Pro Longwear and I would load up my little brush and I would carve these bitches out till I could not carve no more. Very light motions and light strokes so I wouldn't like mess up the new shape. And yes, that means on the top as well. And that was my old brow. And I would take Pro Longwear and I would just put that on the lid, which is pretty cool. I used to like take concealer and put that as my eye primer, and I still pretty much do that. I tend to take concealer or actual eye primer and do the same exact thing that I'm doing right now. But I would just lightly put a cute little gay layer up on this eye, a little homosexual layer. Fucking luscious, bitch. She gets me to talk like her. Damn it. And we have MannyMua circa 2015. And I will definitely be popping up photos of what my brows look like. And this was them. Woo! What I will do now is I'll take a lighter brow pomade. I'll take, like, for example, Anastasia soft brown, and I'm gonna run that on the base of my brow because I really do like that sharp underneath of the brow look. I'll take the brow pomade and I'll put it in my brows, and I'll just follow the natural flow of my actual brow instead of creating this completely new brow. And I don't sharpen it at the ends either. I just like my brows to look a little bit more natural nowadays. So that's kind of what I'll do with my brows on this side. There's one more thing I do. I like to take this new brow pencil that I'm obsessed with from Urban Decay. It's called Brow Blade. I'm obsessed. It has like a pencil and it has like a little pen. And I'll kind of create little hair-like motions with this new product that I just started getting into. It's like a microbladed look, but I enjoy the microbladed look. I just want to get my brows microbladed. And I'll still take concealer, but instead of doing this for the sake of cleaning up, I like to do it now for the highlight aspect of it, where I'm really just highlighting underneath my brow bone. And that is that side with the brow. I just feel like this brow on this side is just a little bit more fluffy, a little bit more full, not as harsh. I feel like this side is just more harsh. And so what I like to do nowadays, I just prime my eyes with actual fucking primer nowadays. I don't like just use concealer. I'll do it here and there sometimes, but I don't do it like I used to. I'm gonna take a little bit of powder. I'll set my concealer a little bit, not a heavy amount, just like whatever's left on the sponge. Because I still like the concealer to be a little bit tacky, or like the base of the eye to be a little bit tacky. Okay guys, so what I like to do now with the side that I haven't primed with concealer, I like to go in with either a MAC paint pot, or I like to go in with this primer from Smashbox. This is the 24-hour primer, or I'll go in with Tarte Shape Tape. With this, with priming my lids, honestly, things haven't changed very much. I mean, as long as the shadows stick on my lid and they last all night, I'm happy. But back in the day, I never wore primer. I would just use concealer as primer, pro longwear specifically, because Jacqueline did that, so I did that, bitch. I was such a fucking Jacqueline stan back in the day. Not saying that I'm not a fan of hers now, but whatever like Jacqueline would do back in the day, I feel like that's what I would end up doing. And I feel like it's like that for a lot of people. Who are some of the people that you guys used to watch back in the day when you first started doing makeup? Or even now, if you guys are just starting to do makeup nowadays, like who are some of the first people that you guys watched? I'm really, really curious. For this one, I know Christy did the same kind of shadows on both sides of her eye. For me though, I used to be consumed with doing a certain type of eye on my eye, and it was a pink and blue eye. I did it so many times. I wore pink and blue shadow all the time. I would do pink in the crease, white lid, and blue underneath my lash line. All the time. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna take my Life's a Drag palette by Lunar Beauty. This is literally the palette that can truly do it all for me. I mean, it just is. I'm sorry, like, facts. I can do the eye I want to do on this side, and I can do the eye I want to do on this side with just one palette. So let's go in with our brushes. Woo, I'm gonna take the shade Kai Kai, which is a bright pink color, and that's gonna go into my crease. I'm just taking this on a fluffy brush first because I did like to intensify the color later on. I'm gonna take this on a Morphe M504, and I would just make sure that it's blended on the edges and just pray that it would stay blended. I didn't like to take it out as far as I do now, but I would really round it out, and I would just try to give myself that little dolly type like look, you know what I mean? So then I would go in with a more compact brush, and I'll go with that same shade and really pinkify that bitch. And then I would take a flat packing brush, and I would take white eyeshadow. I'm taking Cake Face from my palette, and I would just pack it all over my lid. I would wear this look all the time. I would love to also do colored brows back in the day as well. Can't forget to do it on the brow bone, of course, because I did that as well. And then I would take a pencil brush. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take the shade Fishy from my palette. It's like a really pretty royal blue with a little bit of shimmer to it. And I would just pack that on the lower lash line. Yep, I'll do this right here. Now I'll take a blue eyeliner and run that in my lash line. And in the inner corner, I would put Reflex Blue from MAC. So I don't have Reflex Blue, but I do have something that I've been working on that I will put on the inner corner instead to kind of act as my Reflex Blue moment. I'm not gonna show it, of course, are you kidding me? Hello. Oh my, I'm literally having fucking flashbacks right now, like dead ass. This is what I would do. This is me. This is literally MannyMua before he was MannyMua. This was Manny working at Sephora and MAC. Now that we have this side, we have basically the eyeshadow part done. I'm gonna go ahead and apply this side now. We're gonna go ahead and take the same palette, of course, because Miss Life's a Drag is the most versatile thing in the universe. Literally more versatile than me. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it on a fluffy brush. I'm gonna take the shade Sickening, which is a really pretty warm transition shade. I'm gonna go ahead and put that into the crease. And nowadays, I just go in with bigger, fluffier brushes and really blow it out. And honestly, nowadays, I also kind of like to take my eyeshadow all the way into my inner part, which I did on the side too. But I like to kind of take it into the brow bone as well. And just kind of blend it so that one little concealer line doesn't look as harsh. I like to mix up warmer tones. I'll take the shade Trade and a little bit of Mug right here. And I'll just pack it on out here first and then kind of blend forward. And I also just like to kind of blow it out here, like blown the fuck out. I would never know what blown out means, of course, because she's an innocent angel. But I like to really blow out the color out here and blend it upwards into that sickening shade. I've always kind of stayed above my crease because I feel like my crease isn't high enough and it frustrates me. So I will kind of build out my own crease and put it above that. And as you can see on this side, I just like to blow it out a little bit more and give me that lifted wing look because I do have more hooded lids. So I like to elongate everything out here. So I'm gonna go in with the shade Legendary, which is the gold in my palette. It's a really pretty, insane gold. I'm gonna pack that on to the lid. Y'all see that gold? That's fool's gold right there. Why am I talking like this? Stop. I just like this blown out smokiness, dude. Like, that's just what I'm into, man. I'll take like Kitten Karma from Stila, take a little glitter, and just pop a little bit right there and just kind of blend her out, honey. Oh, of course, the lower lash line. Sorry, lower lash line, Lucy. We're gonna take the shade Sickening and the shade Trade. I'm gonna blow that out underneath the lash line as well. I love to take the lower lash line color down pretty far. And the reason I do this is because due to the fact that I have hooded lids, I like to incorporate pops of color on my lower lash line because I feel like that's what people are able to see. When I'm looking straight up like this and I'm wearing a color on my lid, it's harder for people to see because I cover up a lot of it, especially when I wear lashes. So what I'll do nowadays, it's just like a little trick for me, is I'll pop a color on my lower lash line just to show people like, hey, look, I'm wearing color and it's something that I really enjoy. I now go in with like a copper brown shimmer eyeliner. This one, for the sake of what I'm using right now, is Double Life by Urban Decay. I'm taking the shade Beat from my palette on the inner corner. I always have loved a really intense, bright inner corner. That's never changed. And I like to highlight my brow bone now with an actual highlighter, not just stark white shadow that's matte. So I'll go in with a nice just shimmery highlight shade. I'm taking the shade Medusa from my Greek Goddess eyeliner palette, and I'll do it on the top with what's ever left on the brush. I'll just kind of blend it down. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyeliner off of camera real quick. Okay, mama, so let's just go ahead and explain the situation at hand. Nowadays, I like to just pull out my liner a little bit farther. I like to be a little bit more dramatic with my wings. And I like a really fluffy lash, like a Miami. I'm wearing Miami by Lily Lashes. I feel like it just complements my eye shape nicely. I feel like it pulls everything out really nicely and it gives me that really cat eye appearance. On my left side, I used to wear this style of lashes called Bella by New Balance all the time. It was literally like my go-to pair of lashes, and it was like a very, very, very intense, fluffy, dramatic pair, and I would cut other individual lashes and I would put it at the ends of those. So I would be really quite extra with it. I want you guys to understand, like, look at how thick this side is of lash. And look at this side. I mean, honestly, sometimes I like a bold lash like this too, though. It's just like bringing me back. Like, and I really, really like that. But I would never really go too ham with my wings because I didn't really think I was very good at them, to be honest. Like, I thought I was like okay at them. I would just do like this little kitten wing where I was like, you know, this is all I need. Like, I did a wing. I'm so proud of myself. Bitch, what is this? It's cute though, it's cute. It's not like this, where this is like sickening, but it's cute. So we're gonna move on to the lips. I used to overdraw my lips so intensely on the top and the bottom, and I would always wear a liquid lipstick that was like a pink nude liquid lipstick. I was testing out some of them. The closest is this one. This is the shade Blush from JOUER. Do you guys remember when I did a collaboration with Gerard Cosmetics? It was back in the day. It was a long, long time ago. And I did a liquid lipstick with them called Serenity. That is basically like the vibe I'm going for. So I would do this. I would take it so far down. I would create that illusion of a bigger lip. And it's like, girl, was it even an illusion? As you can see, my lip line, my real lip line over here, and my other lip line over here. Very, very drag on the lower lip. I would literally take it down to my facial hair right there. So nowadays, what I like to do is I like to go in with lip liner, lipstick, and gloss. So I'm gonna go and take a lip liner I always use. This is the Urban Decay Stark Naked. And with my nudes nowadays too, I like to just actually be more nude, not so pink, where it's literally like, hey, pink nude, what's up? This is more of like a nude where I feel like it's really, really complimentary. Do I still overdraw? I do. Let's be really honest here, but I don't do it as severe as I used to. And what I like to do nowadays is I actually taper in my lip line a little bit closer to my actual lip. I make the Cupid's bow a little bit more dramatic right here, and I'll taper it down to actually be on my real lip. So this is like kind of how I do my lips nowadays. I just feel like it just complements my real lips more, and it's not as so obvious and intense as this. I feel like I just like have lip filler on this side, and it like doesn't look cute against my lip line right there. So now what I'll do is I'll go in with a nude lipstick. This is KKW by Charlotte Tilbury. I like to go in with cream lipsticks or liquid lipstick that's in this shade, but it has to be a not drying one because I'm so over drying liquid lipsticks. And I'll take some gloss. This one is the Lunar Beauty Celine gloss. I like to place it on the center and blend outwards. And this is the lip. This is the lip I like to do. Nowadays, it's just a really pretty nude, glossy, hyper glossy lip. That's really comfortable and it feels really nice. This one's super, super drying and feels very heavy on the lips. It's gonna crack later on for sure. But this is the final look, you guys. This is literally how I did my makeup back in the day and how I do my makeup now. I just feel like it gives me a more youthful appearance. Mind you, it's a little bit more intense, I also feel, at certain areas, but I just like the fierceness of it. So we have this intense ass brow, intense ass lash, intense ass contour, intense ass overdraw, intense ass everything. And that is that, yo. Wow, like it is kind of shocking to see what my makeup looks like now. This is like how I like to do it nowadays. And what it looked like before, like it's just so intense and so different. I want you guys to comment down below what you guys think. Do you guys like the before side? Do you guys like the now side, the current side? What do you guys think of the routine? I'm really, really intrigued to see what you guys say. How do you guys do your makeup personally? Do you guys do a really intense brow like this side, or is it a little bit more natural and fluffy? I'm just very, very, very interested because this was so much fun to film and it was so much fun for me to watch when I watched Chrissy. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this as well. I feel like this also has to do a lot to do with like how people on YouTube, you know, doing trends. So I feel like this is more of a current, trendier way to do makeup. I feel like this eye is something more current and a little bit more like fun and festive, but I was doing that shit like 5 years ago, which is dope. Like, I mean, I'll always love colorful eye looks. I mean, that's why I came out with Life's a Drag, you know? It's just very interesting to see the things I did do, the things I did not do. But yeah, you guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys had fun watching it. I hope you guys learned a little bit something, maybe, hopefully. I live for old Manny and I live for new. Before I close this out, mutual consensus, what do you guys think? Do you guys like the left side more, or do you guys like the right side more? Comment down below. I'm really, really, really interested to see what you guys have to think. I'm very curious to hear you guys' opinions. Yeah, that is that. She's done. She's good. She's gonna go eat some fucking tamales. No, I'm not. I wish I was, though. I'm craving a tamales so much. But yeah, you guys, I love you guys so much. Have a great rest of the night, wherever you guys are, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye, you guys. I love you. Mwah. Hey, guys. Hey, guys. Hey, guys. I look like an angel. I want my chi-chis to be lifted. Gay! Because my throat is clogged. What the fuck you guys think was in there, huh? What y'all think's in there? But as always, hi, babes. Wanna come say hi on camera? Y'all haven't seen Miss Zaya in a second. She got you were cold. No, that's disgusting. Oh, you want to wear a mask to work? Oh, T. That's not what I'm going for. On both sides of my face isn't cute. I don't want a smile line that's as big as the Sahara. Like, I literally just don't want that. What the fuck am I saying? Give me a second. Why the fuck did I stop using Pro Longwear? On how I do my side on the side. What the fuck? I can't think. If I say I one more fucking time, I will literally scream. Okay. Okay, great. Fight. Win. Fight. Win. I had a fantasy of being a cheerleader when I was younger. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. We're not gonna talk about it. I found some. Hey, I found some. Which ways I don't. It's just really, really. Oh my god, look at that. Why can't I just have my skin be pulled like this? That's I don't understand. Hi.